Shedeur Sanders, yes, that Shedeur Sanders, stepped onto the practice field and turned it into a statement. And the message? I'm not waiting anymore. I'm ready now. The Browns are mid-practice. Routine drills, same old rhythm. Joe Flacco's tossing safe, textbook throws, nothing risky, nothing flashy. The kind of reps that keep a veteran in the rotation, even if the gas tank's almost empty.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
But then boom, in walks Shedeur. Calm, focused, visibly locked in like it's game day, not just warm-ups. No swagger, no theatrics, just this quiet intensity that instantly pulls everyone's attention, like he knows what's about to happen, and he doesn't need to say a word. And then he starts slinging, not just tossing spirals, not just showing off arm strength. We're talking anticipation, timing, pocket presence, vision, poise. Throws that thread between defenders like he's been in the league for 5 years. Reads a coverage like it's printed in bold type. Audible adjustments that catch even the assistant coaches off guard. It's not flashy, it's surgical. And the whole sideline? Dead. Silent. Not because they didn't believe in him before, but because now they see it. Now it's real. The promise, the pedigree, the pressure, all snaps into focus in one afternoon practice, under the Ohio sky, like something shifted. This isn't about proving he belongs. It's about proving he's inevitable. Let's be honest, up to this point. Shedeur's journey has been more about talk than tape. And not because he hasn't delivered, he has. But because when your last name is Sanders, and your dad wears sunglasses to press conferences like he's in an action movie, people expect everything instantly. That's the curse of legacy. You're never just a player. You're a symbol, a target, a headline. And yet Shedeur, he's not flinching. He's doing the one thing that actually silences a noise, outworking everyone. This week's comeback practice wasn't just a performance. It was a challenge, not to Flacco, not to the coaching staff, but to the moment itself. Put the pressure on me, his body language seemed to say. I want it. Because here's the part no one's talking about enough. This man loves pressure. While other young quarterbacks try to dodge it, brush it off, or pretend it's not there, Shedeur leans in. He treats pressure like oxygen, like it's fuel. And that's what separates the good from the great in this league. Not just what you do with a clean pocket and a 6-point lead, but what you do when the stadium's booing, the clock's ticking, and you're on your third read with a linebacker in your face. And maybe, just maybe, this week's practice was more than just football. Maybe it was a declaration. Because let's not forget what the Browns are dealing with right now. A franchise teetering. A fan base that's exhausted. A quarterback carousel that spun faster than a TikTok trend. And now, on one side, you got Joe Flacco, steady, reliable, but visibly worn. A placeholder at best. And on the other side, you've got Shedeur. Young, raw, but rising. Explosive. Hungry. Unshaken. The kind of player that alters your franchise timeline, if you time it right. But here's where it gets complicated. This isn't just a football decision. It's a philosophical one. Do you go with safety? Or do you bet on the future? Because let's be honest, Flacco isn't the answer. He's the pause button. He's a safe pair of hands you call when you don't have a real solution. But Shedeur, he's not a placeholder. He's a pivot point, and the Brown staff knows it. You can see it in the way they watch him, like they're trying to stay neutral but can't help but track every throw, like they're torn between the comfort of what they know and the thrill of what's coming. But sooner or later, a decision has to be made, and that's when the pressure shifts not to Shedeur but to Kevin Stefanski, because this isn't just a quarterback competition. It's a franchise identity crisis. Are the Browns still the team that plays it safe and hopes for a wild card spot? Or are they finally ready to lean into something bigger, something riskier, something transformational? And make no mistake, giving Shedeur the reins is risky. He's still learning, still adjusting to NFL speed, still navigating life in a league that will chew you up if you hesitate for even a second. But sometimes potential is too loud to ignore. And right now, Shedeur's potential is screaming. The whispers are already spreading through the locker room, not in a toxic, drama-filled way, but with respect. Veterans nodding, younger guys watching closely. Everyone's aware something just shifted. And if you've ever been inside an NFL facility, you know what that means. Players know before coaches do. They see it before the media writes it. They feel it in drills, in film sessions, in walkthroughs. The moment someone becomes undeniable, it doesn't matter where they were drafted or who's starting. That energy moves. And right now, that energy is wearing number 5. The countdown has already begun. Maybe Stefanski holds off. Maybe he lets Flacco start the season, buys time, delays the inevitable. But the leash? It's short. The fans? Already impatient. And Shedeur? He's not waiting for an invitation. Every practice rep is a campaign speech. Every throw is a highlight. Every whisper of doubt becomes motivation. And if you think he's worried about living in his dad's shadow, think again. Because Shedeur's not trying to be Deion Sanders. He's trying to surpass him. Different sport, different energy, same ambition. He's not chasing fame. It's chasing him. But he's not getting distracted. Not by the cameras. Not by the noise. Not even by the skeptics who say, yeah, but can he do it on Sunday? Oh, he's going to show you. And when he does, it won't be some feel-good rookie story. It'll be a changing of the guard. So if you're a Browns fan, this is your moment of reckoning. Because soon, someone's going to make the call. And when Shedeur finally gets a nod, whether it's next week, next month, or sooner than we all expect, you better be ready. Because the calm, collected kid with ice in his veins and fire in his chest, he's not coming to audition. He's coming to take over. And to the rest of the league, you've been warned. Now let's hear it. Should Shedeur start now? Or do the Browns play the waiting game? Is this the moment to hand him the keys? Or is it too soon? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe if you want more insider drama and rising star moments. And remember, some comebacks don't wait for permission. They just happen. And when they do, you better not blink. What Shedeur just did wasn't normal. Rookie quarterbacks are supposed to be humble, quiet, grateful just to be here. They're not supposed to show up in week whatever and throw like they're holding auditions for their own Netflix series. They're not supposed to have the locker room's attention, like a bomb about to go off. But Shedeur? And now, every single person in the Browns organization has to deal with the fallout. Let's start with the elephant in the quarterback room. Joe Flacco. Now, no hate to Flacco. Seriously, he's had a storied career. Super Bowl champ. Elite sometimes. Steady. Reliable. That guy you can trust to not implode on 3rd and long. But here's the problem. You don't win Super Bowls in today's NFL with steady. You win with fire. With quarterbacks who throw 40 yards off platform while being chased by someone built like a tank. You win with fearlessness. With youth that doesn't realize it should be scared. You win with momentum. And right now, all of that lives in the Shedeur Sanders column. Flacco might know the playbook, but Shedeur is the moment. And no spreadsheet, no veteran intangibles, no conservative play calling can outshine what we all just saw in that comeback practice. And now the coaches have a problem. They're staring down two realities. One, they start Flacco. Things go lukewarm, and the fans start chanting Shedeur's name by halftime. 2, they start Shedeur and either he flops or he absolutely takes off and makes them look like geniuses. It's a risk either way. But the real issue? They're running out of excuses. Because before this week, it was easy to slow play Shedeur's rise. Let him develop. Let him adjust to the speed of the game. All the cliches. But now that he's walked into practice and outshined a 15-year vet like he was still running 7 on 7S and Boulder, that narrative's done. And the fans? They saw the footage. You think it stayed locked in that practice facility? Please. It's already on Reddit threads. Cut into hype edits on TikTok. Slowed down on Instagram reels with dramatic music. The Shedeur hype train has left the station, and the Browns better be careful. They can either ride it or get run over. Let's talk about the media circus that's coming. You thought it was loud already? Wait until the next press conference. Every question is going to be about Shedeur. How's he progressing? Do you think he's ready? How long is Flacco your starter? And Coach Stefanski? He can try to play it cool, but his every word, every pause, every non-answer will be dissected like it's a season finale cliffhanger. Because here's the truth. The fans want Shedeur. The team wants Shedeur. The narrative wants Shedeur. And that's a powerful thing. In today's NFL, perception is momentum. And once a team feels it, once that it factor starts hovering around a player, it becomes harder and harder to keep them off the field. And Shedeur, he's got it in spades. But what makes this even crazier is how he's doing it. Not with cocky sound bites or dramatic interviews. Not with showboating or headlines. Just with grit, quiet excellence, perfect footwork, mental sharpness, command. He's not trying to be flashy. He's just being ready. You know how rare that is? You can't teach that. You can't fake it. You either show up and change the room, or you don't. And Shedeur? He's been changing rooms since he walked onto campus at Jackson State, then again at Colorado. And now here he is, walking into one of the most cursed franchises in the NFL and making people believe something they haven't felt in years. Hope. That's the secret sauce. It's not just about talent. It's about belief. The Browns haven't had a quarterback that felt like a spark since who? Baker, maybe? For a minute? But we all know how that turned out. This is different. Shedeur doesn't feel like a flash in the pan. He feels like the beginning of a movement. And let's talk about legacy for a second, because you can't talk about Shedeur without talking about Deion. But here's the twist. Shedeur's not in Deion's shadow. He's expanding it. Everything about how he carries himself, everything he's built so far, says one thing. I'm my own man. Sure, he wears the Sanders name proudly, but he's not leaning on it. He's building his own legacy, one rep, one practice, one breakout moment at a time. And this practice, it might have been the moment. The moment people stop saying Deion's kid and start saying Shedeur Sanders, the future of the Browns. So now the clock's ticking, not just for Stefanski, not just for Flacco, but for the entire franchise. Because when the locker room buys in and the fans are frothing at the mouth, and your rookie quarterback is outplaying your vet in real time, you make the move, or you risk losing everything. Not just the season, the energy, the hope, the belief. This isn't just about picking a starter. It's about choosing a direction. Do the Browns want to stick with what's safe? Or finally roll the dice on something bold, something risky, something that might just change everything? And if they don't, if they wait too long, if they hesitate, if they let this moment slip, they might miss the one player who could have rewritten the Browns' future, who could have finally pulled the team out of the mud, not just with stats, but with vision, leadership, conviction. So to every Browns fan pacing the living room, refreshing Twitter, dissecting practice clips frame by frame, you're not crazy. You saw what we saw, and you know what has to happen next. The Browns need to start Shedeur, not because of hype, not because of social media, but because he's ready. And the team, the franchise, the entire city, they've waited long enough. This isn't just about Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. This is about what happens when someone dares to break the timeline. You know the timeline. That perfectly curated career arc the NFL expects every rookie to follow. Get drafted. Keep your head down. Wait your turn. Learn from the veterans. Smile in interviews. And for the love of Roger Goodell, don't rock the boat. That's the unspoken rule. You're a passenger until the franchise hands you the keys. But Shedeur, he didn't show up looking for keys. He showed up with his own car. Tank full. Windows tinted. GPS locked on legacy. And when he walked into that Browns facility, he wasn't there to ask for a moment. He came to take it. That's what people aren't ready for. Because let's be real, the NFL, for all its bravado and chest pounding, still loves order. It loves predictability. It loves systems. But Shedeur plays like someone who writes systems, not follows them. And now, with one standout practice, he's dragged the entire Browns organization into uncharted waters. Here's what happened behind the scenes, because you know this isn't just a football debate anymore. The front office is split. The coaching staff is nervous. The ownership is asking questions like, are we missing our Mahomes moment? Because when you see a player flash like that, poise, command, fire in the belly, it forces you to look in the mirror and ask, are we playing not to lose, or playing to win? And let's talk about that practice, again, because the footage doesn't lie. Shedeur didn't just throw a couple of nice balls. He controlled the entire tempo. He was leading, not just executing. Teammates adjusted to him. Receivers ran sharper routes because his eyes demanded it. Linemen held blocks a second longer because he moved like he was worth protecting. That's not just talent. That's gravity. The kind of presence that changes not just a game, but the culture around it. And the players? Oh, they felt it. Don't let the locker room poker faces fool you. NFL players know real when they see it. And Shedeur? He walked out of that practice with more than reps. He walked out with respect. Quiet, heavy, unspoken respect. Even the vets were nodding. You know the nod. That damn. Okay, the kid might be him nod. It's subtle, but it's loud. And what about Flacco? Look, Joe's not dumb. He's been around. He's seen this before. He knows what it looks like when the next guy shows up with rocket feet and ice in his veins. He's felt that shift in the air. And deep down, he knows what we know. The clock is ticking. No hate to Flacco. He's the bridge. But Shedeur? He's the destination. And let's be brutally honest about the Browns here. This team has lived in quarterback purgatory. Names like a bad dream. Manziel, Kaiser, Whedon, RJ, Baker, and more. One false start after another. A carousel of chaos. But this feels different. Because Shedeur's not just another talented young guy with arm strength and swagger. He's methodical, obsessed with film, dialed in. This is a player who doesn't just want to win. He wants to dominate. He wants to rewrite the book, not just his chapter. And here's the scary part. For other teams, he's still ascending. You think that practice was a peak? That was just a spark. He's not even at full ignition yet. So now the Browns are sitting on a live wire. And everyone's watching. You got analysts quietly nudging producers to prep. Is it time for Sanders? Segments. National media circling like sharks around blood in the water. Every pass he throws is being clipped, slowed down, and reposted with captions like, QB1 loading. The franchise is under pressure. But pressure is where Shedeur lives. Always has. At Jackson State, he was Deion's son until he wasn't. Until he turned an HBCU program into the most watched team in the country. Until he put up numbers that made blue-chip QBs nervous. At Colorado, everyone said it would be cute. Until he dropped 500 yards on TCU and turned Coach Prime's We Comin' into a national chant. And now, he's walking into the NFL, the league, and saying, this ain't new to me. He's been in pressure cookers before. He likes the heat. It focuses him. Refines him. Pressure doesn't break Shedeur. It polishes him. And now the Browns are faced with the kind of decision that either becomes a what if or a legendary origin story. If they start him now and it works, you just change your trajectory for the next decade. A new face of the franchise. A new energy. A new Cleveland. If they wait too long, let him sit behind Flacco for experience, delay the inevitable, you risk losing the moment. And trust me, the NFL is built on moments. Catch them, and you ride them into greatness. Miss them, they turn into regrets. And Shedeur, he feels like one of those moments. Rare, unshakable, bigger than the stat sheet. So now the question isn't just, is he ready? The question is, are you brave enough to believe in him before everyone else does? That's what makes legends. That's what makes bold franchises. That's what turns a quarterback from promising into iconic. Timing. And right now, all eyes are on Cleveland. Waiting, watching, wondering. Because somewhere deep in that film room, Kevin Stefanski is staring at two names on a depth chart. And he knows. One of those names is a placeholder. The other, a revolution. Right now, behind closed doors, that quarterback room feels like a high-stakes chessboard. On one side, you got Joe Flacco, an aging king with enough experience to stay on the board, but not enough mobility to threaten the other side. On the other, Shedeur Sanders, a queen in waiting. Powerful, versatile, game-changing. But only if the coaches are bold enough to move the piece. And the craziest part? The players already know who the real threat is. There's a vibe in that locker room. You can't fake it. You can't coach it. When a guy walks in and changes the energy of the room just by existing, you listen. And Shedeur's been doing that without even taking a regular season snap. He's not just preparing like a starter. He's thinking like one, moving like one, talking like one, and most importantly, leading like one. Every rep at practice, taken like it's third, and goal in the fourth quarter. Every film session, treated like a masterclass in war strategy. Every piece of media coverage, handled with the kind of composure you usually only see in guys wearing gold jackets. And the fans? Don't sleep on the fans. They can feel it. You know that Cleveland crowd, blue collar, ride or die, allergic to fake hype. They've been through every QB roller coaster imaginable. They know disappointment like a next-door neighbor. But this time, it's different. This time, there's hope, not just in the way Shedeur throws the ball, but in the way he carries the burden. Because make no mistake, wearing that last name, in this league, under the spotlight, it's not easy. But Shedeur isn't running from it. He's walking straight through it. Like pressure was part of his morning routine. And that kind of mindset, that kind of presence, you don't bench that. You build around it. So here's the final question, and it's not just for Stefanski. It's for the whole franchise, the whole city. Do you want to survive this season? Or do you want to ignite something? Because if the answer is the second one, you already know what needs to happen. You hand the ball to Shedeur, and you let him cook. Because legends aren't born in press conferences. They're made on the field, under lights, under pressure, with the whole world watching. And if you listen closely, you can already hear it. It's time.